Hey boss buddies, now I know I'm a little bit late doing this, but I wanted to put together my fall fragrances. Fall isn't sort of normally a season that I really experience living in the Caribbean, where it doesn't sort of drop below 80 degrees. However, I wear my what would consider to be fall fragrances all year long, because there's so many great fragrances out there. I want the chance to wear them all. I mean, the heavier ones I would normally sort of leave for the evenings or anything like that. So, I mean, if you're in a tropical climate like Miami or somewhere else that's very, very hot most of the year, then I'm sure you will you will do pretty much the same thing and agree with me that there are so many different fragrances and wonderful fragrances out there. It shouldn't really matter on the weather, unless of course it's so hot that obviously a fragrance does become too heavy to wear in that sort of climate, and it does become a little bit overpowering. But yeah, I'm going to go through my fall favourites in just a second. So welcome back boss buddies. So I'm going to go through my fall favourites. Now these are going to be in no particular order, and I've also saved a couple for the last. Just because these are for, I'd consider them more for sort of evening or special occasions. The rest of them are going to be for like daily wear or for sort of any time wear throughout the fall winter season. These are nice sort of warming fragrances. So the first one I'm going to go with is Oud by Acqua Di Parma's Colonia Oud. Now this one really is a beautiful oud. I was very lucky enough to get this one as a present from my wife for my 40th birthday. What I love about this one is it's quite a not a fresh oud, but it's a little bit sweeter than normal. I mean, I'm a big lover of Creed's Royal Oud, and I really do love that one, but this one's a little less musky. Like I say, it's a little bit sweeter. Not so much, I wouldn't say warmer, but I mean, this one really is sort of quite a unique oud, I'd say, and it's perfect for the sort of fall winter season. So I mean, yeah, if you're looking for something a little bit different in the way of an oud, definitely check this one out. This is one of the more reasonably priced ouds as well, with it being a natural oud. And yeah, I mean, Acqua Di Parma, definitely one to check out for the fall season. Like I say, it makes a nice break from Creed's Royal Oud and some of the other ouds are out there because they tend to be quite dark. This one's still quite a lively one. So definitely this one is the first one in my fall collection. Now, moving on, I don't know where to go next. Let's go for, I'm going to go for By the Fireplace by Replica. This one is just such a beautiful, sort of smoky, like woody chestnut on the fire kind of fragrance. It's quite sweet. It's a very, very beautiful sort of, I mean, it's based on, the idea of Replica is they're basing it on the replica of a scent that you would experience somewhere. Now this one's based on like a fire in Chamonix, which is in the French ski resorts. I mean, I really get the sort of the fiery vibe, and I mean, this reminds me of being back in England when you walk past the street corners, and I don't know, I think they have them in New York as well. But when they're cooking chestnuts, it's quite a big thing in England around sort of the winter time that people are cooking chestnuts, and they serve like hot chestnuts to the people on the street. So you've got these little street vendors cooking the chestnuts, and that is exactly the smell that I get with this one when I'm breathing this one. I've not had a chance to wear this one fully yet, so I don't know of the longevity and the projection of that one. Actually, coming back to the Oud by Acqua Di Parma, the projection and longevity are fantastic with this one. This is one, I mean, it can be worn all day and all night. Projection's not huge on it. I mean, most ouds don't have a massive projection anyway, but this one you're looking around sort of 2 to 3 feet, so it's still quite a strong oud. And like I say, longevity goes on all day and night. I've not had the chance to experience Replicas By the Fireplace yet, so I couldn't say for sure. I picked this one based purely on the scent. I know a lot of people love this fragrance and they think it's one of the better ones, or the best one. It's their top recommendation from the Replica collection. So that's why it's made it into my, I mean, this really does sort of epitomise the perfect smell of fall. I mean, especially if you're back in the UK, because, yeah, I mean, that chestnut smell, you cannot beat that, and it just sort of brings back so many memories for me. So Replicas By the Fireplace is definitely going to be my number 2. Now, for my third one, I'm going to go for this one here. This is Penhaligons Halfeti. I really, really love this fragrance. This is one of my most complimented fragrances. This one as well is For those of you who haven't tried it and you've tried maybe some of the other Penhaligons, which are more of sort of a barber shop sort of scent, that sort of clean smell, this one's very, very different, and this one is absolute beast mode as well. This one is a very, very powerful fragrance. If you're looking to sort of get some attention somewhere, maybe it's going out in the evening, maybe you're going out during the day, but this is one that's definitely going to grab some attention. Like I say, it is very, very powerful. The longevity of this one is absolutely incredible. Now, I mean, what makes this one a little bit different? This one's based on sort of more of an oriental sort of fragrance. Halfeti's based on sort of old trade routes. So it's like the I think it was the Indian or the Turkish trade routes that you just go backwards and forwards. So it's very spicy. There's a lot of herbs and sort of some very, very nice ingredients in there that make up a very, very beautiful fragrance. It's very different, very unique as well. It's definitely one that you should check out. Now, longevity, as far as this one goes, this one is, I mean, this one's got crazy long longevity. This is the kind of fragrance that I can put on first thing in the morning. I can go out all day at work. I can go to the gym in the evening. And I can come home. If I fell asleep and I woke up the next morning and I showered, I can still smell this on my skin. That's exactly how powerful this one is. So I mean, this one's definitely one to get into the collection, or at least definitely make sure you check it out if you haven't smelled this one before. Like I say, this one is one of my most complimented fragrance, definitely one for the full collection. So moving on to my fourth one now, I'm going to go with my Santal 33. Now, most sandalwood fragrances, what I love about them is they're so clean. What I do love about this one though is it's a very, very sort of dirty, gritty kind of woody fragrance. I mean, many of you know, if you've seen a few videos, I do often refer to Sacred Wood by Kilian, which is one of my favourite fragrances. It's a very sort of very clean sandalwood and sort of cedary fragrance. Now this one I consider to be its sort of dirty or gritty sort of cousin. I mean, they're sort of polar opposites really, ultra clean, and then this one's like dirty and gritty. And I just love the smell of this one. I mean, you still got that sort of strong sandalwood in there, but there's like sort of peppery notes and sort of hot, fiery notes in there. Just makes it a little bit different, sort of very, very individual. Again, this is another one where longevity is absolutely crazy. I fall asleep, and I mean, if I go to sleep in this, a couple of nights later, I can smell this still all over my pillow, so it does last. The same goes on my skin as well. This one goes beast mode for about the first hour and a half as well when you're wearing it. Then it does come down, but it's still a very powerful fragrance. So the projection on this one, you're looking at around sort of 2 to 3 feet, definitely, maybe even more. But yeah, longevity again with this one just goes on and on and on. Okay, so moving into my last four. Now the next one I'm going to go for is one of my old favourites. Now this one really is perfect for the fall. Now I love to wear this one as well during, I mean, in the heat here in Cayman Islands, where it never sort of really drops below 80 degrees. But this one really is more of a, I mean, much more of a fall fragrance, and it's Interlude Man by Amouage. I just love the fiery, sort of smoky, incensey smell of this one. This one is, again, absolute beast mode. For those of you that haven't tried this one, I mean, this one's got massive projection and it's got huge longevity as well. Again, this is another one that you could go in, spend the day in, go out in the evening, and then you'd still smell it after you showered the next day. And this has got huge projection as well. Like I say, if you really love those sort of smoky fragrances, this one's quite, it's got like a sweetness to it. Just think of, I mean, like sitting by the fireplace and you got that sort of, some very expensive woods and sort of some incense going as well, and that's the kind of smell that you're going to get with Interlude Man. This is one of my old favourites. This was one of the original sort of niche fragrances I have from my collection. I don't wear it so much anymore, obviously, because I'm reviewing a lot more now. I mean, as you can see, I have worn quite a bit of it. It's down to sort of here now. I mean, I've had this one pushing probably almost 3 years now, but I do love this one and I love to go back to it every now and then. Now, this is the one that my wife also asked me to wear for our wedding. We got married on the beach around sunset. So, I mean, for my wife to really love this one and want this one out of the fragrances I had in my collection at the time, I really wanted to wear Taste of Heaven by Kilian, but this is the one that she wanted me to wear. She loves this one as well. So I mean, if you, like I say, if you're looking for those, if you're looking for something that's absolute beast mode, you're looking for that smoky sort of beautiful incense sort of sweetness to it, this is the one to go for. Like I say, that one goes on and on. Now, moving on to my last one for sort of everyday and maybe evening wear, I've gone for Viking. This one here, because I mean, this one's perfect for sort of any time of year really, because it's got some cooler sort of fresher notes in, and it's also got some hot spicy notes in it as well, which make it, I mean, it can be as warm or as cold or as cooling as you want it to be. I mean, Viking's definitely one of my favourites. I've loved this one since I very first smelt it. A lot of people tend to be warming to it now. It wasn't one that sort of really got a fair chance, I don't think, because it was the follow-up to Aventus. So a lot of people never really gave this a fair shot. And speaking to the sales reps when I was in Miami over the week, last week, a lot of them have been saying that a lot of people are coming back to try Viking again, and the sales for this one are really sort of starting to pick up. Just where people are coming back and they're wearing it and giving it much more appreciation. This really is a truly beautiful fragrance. I mean, you've got some lemon citrusy notes at the top of it, but then there's also these sort of fiery, sort of peppery notes as well in there. And it really is just I think it's just such a unique scent, and it definitely belongs to be in it definitely belongs in my fall favourites. Okay, so moving into my last two, these ones I've kept for last just because I consider these to be sort of a little bit more special. They are much more expensive, well, not much more expensive, they are a little bit more on the expensive side, and I consider these to be definitely sort of more evening scents or for some kind of special occasion in the evening. Now the first one I'm going for here is one of my newest bottles to my collection, and that's Black Afgano by Nasomatto. This one here is just such a beautiful, intoxicating, mesmerizing scent, and it is really perfect for the fall season. I mean, this one really is just absolutely mind-blowing. I mean, you're looking at $180 for a 30ml bottle the size of this one here, so it's not a cheap fragrance, but God, it is beautiful, and it's just so addictive. This is one that just gets better and better the longer that you're wearing it. Now, I found after the first couple of hours, this just keeps getting stronger and stronger throughout the day. Nobody really knows the notes in this one. There's quite a few resins in there, which make it sort of very special and give it that sort of that extra strength that it builds up through the day on your skin. I mean, all the Nasomattos, if you're going to try them, definitely try them on your skin, give them a wearing, so maybe order a sample or something like that. This is definitely one that I'd recommend to get a sample of, though. I mean, even when I tried it just from the little vials like this one here and just dabbed it on, one thing I noticed straight away, I mean, I noticed it when I first put it on, but yeah, it just got better and better throughout the day, and I just become more and more addicted to it. And hey, here we are, I've got a full bottle now, so I've waited a long time for this one. But yeah, I mean, this one's just beautiful. It's sort of smoky, it's woody, but it just grows and grows and grows on you. I mean, it's kind of a love it or hate it fragrance. I mean, this kind of similar to Interlude Man. That's a love it or hate it one as well. Personally, I love the sort of smoky, more incensey smelling fragrances, especially if they're a little bit stronger as well. I love those sort of fiery notes. Despite living in the hot climates that I do love very sort of warm, sort of fall-like fragrances. Okay, so moving on to my top one for fall. This is one of my favorites. I mean, this is my favorite in my collection. This one's absolutely addictive. I mean, these two really do give each other a run for their money as far as when it comes down to my favorites. But yeah, I mean, Straight to Heaven Extreme to me, just the rum and the dried fruits and that vanillas, the vanilla notes in this one just drive me absolutely crazy. I cannot get enough of this one. This is one that I mean, as soon as I smell it, I want to wear it every time I do. Every time I get it anywhere near me, I just can't get enough of it. I just want to keep sniffing it and sniffing it. And like I say, as soon as I get it anywhere near me, I just want to wear it for the day. But I mean, this one, I mean, you're looking at over, I think it's $315 for this bottle here, for the 50ml bottle. So it's not a cheap fragrance, but this really is an absolutely gorgeous fragrance. Definitely my top recommendation for fall. But like I say, for the money, I definitely keep this one for sort of a more special event. So maybe going out for dinner, definitely more sort of evening or something like that. But yeah, I mean, this one, I mean, that's definitely my favourite in my collection, and it has been since I got it, since I discovered it. I always loved the original Straight to Heaven. The problem I had with the original was it just didn't last. After an hour or so, it just seemed to have disappeared. With the extreme version, it's everything that the original should have been. I mean, there's a double dose in there of the vanilla, double dose of rum, and also the dry fruits as well, and it just makes an absolutely mesmerising fragrance. So, I mean, they're my 4 favourites. I hope you enjoyed these. Please let me know. Well, first of all, please like, comment and subscribe below. I'd love to know what your 4 favourites are. Which ones, I mean, if there's any in my collection that you definitely choose for yours. Otherwise, I'd love to sort of know your top 6 and then maybe 2 for the evening as well. Just let me know your favourites. I'd really love to hear and see what you guys are wearing or going to be wearing this fall. I mean, they're the ones that I would recommend definitely checking out this year. I mean, I've still got loads more to sort of discover. I've got so much good stuff coming up over the next few months. I've got so many fragrances to sort of get through, from like Ormond Jane. I've got their discovery sets. I've got some Carnas. I've got some more Nasomattos. I've got a couple more from Labo. I've got a ton of sort of niche fragrances here to be checking out over the next few months. So definitely please like, comment and subscribe to sort of stay tuned to everything that I've got going on. Don't forget to hit the notification bell as well, so you know every time I bring out a new video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, so you know everything that's going on, everything that's coming up, my scent of the day, which I'll normally review within a couple of days on my YouTube channel. You can find me at Luxury Fragrance Boss. Other than that, I mean, I hope you're still smelling fantastic. Please let me know, as I said, let me know your 4 favourites. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you very soon.